Okay, so far you've been working with the student teachers on Excel Project 1. They've walked you through entering the data in Excel, entering formulas, finding the sum, which is a function, and formatting your spreadsheet, like the cells, putting different cell styles on the cells, comma style, currency style, formatting titles and shading. So now I'm going to walk you through putting the pie chart into the spreadsheet. So that would be starting on page EX35. So I'm going to scroll to that page now. Which is adding a pie chart. So whenever you add a chart to your worksheet, sometimes you're limited as to the type if you want to do a pie or a bar graph or a line chart or whatever kind you want to do. In this case, we're going to do a pie chart. We're also determining that we want to chart our expenses. Our spreadsheet shows the monthly expenses for 1 year, our monthly expenses for 1 year, but we're going to chart our total monthly expenses for the year. So each monthly expense and how much it was for the year. That's what we're going to chart. So when we do that, we need to, of course, figure out what columns represent those things. So in this case, it's column A and column N that we want to chart. So I'm going to minimize this. And I want to show you, so if we're looking at our spreadsheet, this is where you should be, all formatted. We're going to chart A9 through 16. So I want to highlight that. And then I want to highlight N9 through N16. Now notice those columns are not next to each other, which presents a problem. You can't just highlight. So you need to hold the control button and highlight the next column. So we already highlighted A9 to A16. I'm going to hold control and hit N9 through N16. So now I got those two columns highlighted. Make sure that you stop at row 16. You don't want to get the totals in there because your chart will look much different. So you want to highlight A9 through A16, hold control, and then N9 through N16. Now we're going to go up to the Insert tab, and you should see a pie chart icon. It says Insert Pie or Donut Chart, which is what the book says. So we want to choose that, and when you pull it down, you can have the choice of a 2 or 3D pie. We're going to pick 3D pie. Now your chart should look like this. Notice it displays over your spreadsheet, but we're going to move it. So we're going to do a couple things to the chart. We're going to move the chart, and then we're going to rename the sheets down here in the lower left. So I just want to go back to the book, refer to, not the book, the PDF to show you where we are. So we added our chart, we highlighted our columns. Now we want to change the title of the chart to monthly expenses. And then we're going to put a style on the chart, which will be style 5 according to the PDF. So I'm going to come back to my Excel spreadsheet. It said to highlight the chart title and call it monthly expenses. And then I want to make the style of the chart. So you want to make sure you have the whole thing selected. And then up here are the styles of charts. And I want to pick the 5th one, style 5. So yours should look like mine. If you compare it to the PDF instructions, it also looks like that. So here it is. Now we're going to move it. With it still selected, we're going to go up to Move Chart up here in the upper right. And we're going to make a new sheet. So I want to check that, and I'm going to call the new sheet that we make Monthly Expense Chart. Say OK, and then your chart will appear on its own sheet. You can tell because now I have a monthly expense chart sheet. And then I also have these other sheets. If you haven't noticed these sheets, every workbook comes with 3 sheets. When you start, it always begins on sheet 1, and that's where my spreadsheet is that I did all my work. Sheet 2 and 3 are blank, so I don't really need those. Make sure I definitely need sheet 1. I'm going to name sheet 1 Monthly Expenses. I can't type today. Hit enter. So expenses are the actual numbers. Then we have the chart, the sheet with the chart. I'm going to delete sheet 2 because it's blank. So I'm just going to right click and delete. And I can delete sheet 3 that way as well. Notice it also has insert. So you could insert a sheet this way. Or if I wanted to insert a sheet, I could hit this little plus sign here to make a new sheet. But I only need these 2 tabs, these 2 sheets. So, and they also tell you you can put some colors on these. So if I want to color them, I can right click and go to color and maybe do some oranges so that they match my spreadsheet. All right, so now I have them both colored. And then the last thing you want to do is reorder them so that your pie chart isn't first. So you just click and drag, and it easily reorders the sheets. So if I zoom out a little, this is what you should have when you're all finished. When you zoom out, these number signs, if you ever see this, this means your columns aren't wide enough to hold your numbers in this view. So I would just double click on some columns here to make them wide enough if I wanted to, but this is just a view. I could just zoom out and fix that. So this is what your sheet should look like along with your pie chart. And that will end our first Excel project on page EX39 if you're still looking at the PDF as well. Changing sheet tab names and moving the sheets and colors, adding colors. We're not going to go into the printing properties, printing and auto calculating, just because those I'd like to be in person for. Of course, printing, we never print, so this will be the last part of the first project. So congratulations, you are finished.